KHOU TV, Houston. And now, from 11 News in Houston, Sylvan Rodriguez, Susan Banks, Dr. Neil Frank with weather, and Gib Nielsen on sports. This is KHOU 11 News at 6.
I'm not making any allegations like that. I really think it's up to the judge to decide what occurred, what Mr. BIGGIO intended and what he didn't. And I'm not going to comment as to what Mr. BIGGIO may have intended.
The prosecutor talks about testimony that indicates Astro catcher Craig BIGGIO handed a police officer money and his driver's license when he was stopped for drunk driving. Good evening.
Was it an attempted bribe or just an accident? The judge hearing BIGGIO's case will have to weigh the evidence and make that decision. The 23-year-old Astros catcher is on trial for a drunk driving charge from June. Jerome Gray has more.
Young Craig BIGGIO may or may not strike out in court on the drunk driving charge, but he scored points with some fans today. Molly Delavina got autographs for her two nephews.
You took off from work just to come down to get an autograph? Pretty important to you.
For my nephews, it is.
In the courtroom, the arresting officer testified that before stopping BIGGIO and passenger teammate Ken Caminetti, BIGGIO was driving erratically, almost hitting a curb. But the curveball in the case came when the judge allowed Officer Joe Garza to testify. BIGGIO handed over his driver's license and two $100 bills to the officer. Garza says he returned the $200, telling BIGGIO, quote, "I don't need your money."
I really think it's up to the judge to decide what occurred, what Mr. BIGGIO intended and what he didn't.
The defense tried to show this was not an attempt to pay off the officer. In fact, under cross-examination, Garza said at the time of the exchange he didn't think of it as a bribe, although now he considers it may have been one.
But in terms of what the officer has already said, do you think that's damaging to the case?
I think it's probably damaging, but I don't believe it, personally. You know, but let's just wait and see. This case isn't over yet, and I don't want to get into what the case is all about until it is.
The trial is expected to last a couple more days. The maximum sentence for a conviction in this case is 2 years in the Harris County Jail and a $2,000 fine. Jerome Gray, 11 News.